What is good, everybody? We are live. We are live. Type of one inside the chat. You guys can hear me loud and clear. Just want to make sure you guys are hearing my voice. Let me see the chat box real quick. I see you guys joining in. Joining in. We are live. We are live. On tonight's session, right? Appreciate you guys for helping on tonight's call. There's definitely gonna be if you guys live in Texas, right? You guys have experienced some heavy snow. All right, hope you guys are staying safe. Hope no one, of course, got hurt. Hope everyone's vehicles are intact, right? But yeah, most importantly, welcome everyone on tonight's session. I will go over a couple setups I've been seeing as we kind of progress within the brand new week. But real quick, we are about a week and a half left, right? A week and a half left until the Wealth Conference here in Dallas. So definitely want to give you guys a quick reminder if you guys are planning on flying in. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be cold, but I can't wait to see you guys in person, and hopefully you guys are able to really experience your first breakthrough within Powerhouse at this conference. So it's gonna be huge. A lot of people are flying in, and I can't wait to see everybody in student mode in person. So basically, what I'm in right now for BTC is, I definitely want to see some kind of a continuation to the upside. Yes, we got a nice little sell off on Sunday. I think something with the tariff news or something that kind of like caused it, I believe. But for most part, I am really looking for it to continue up higher into somewhere in this area here. I know this is quite a big of a huge zone, but it looks like on majority of all the mains have the same area, which we have this huge institutional buy up before we actually sold off. Definitely want to see some kind of pullbacks or some kind of, rejection inside of this area here. Hence, because this was the previous selling count of previous buying count before we sold off entirely. So this kind of is one of the key zones that I'm eyeing right now for some kind of rejection. But I am looking for potential buys to catch all the way up there. And if from there, I definitely will monitor this area here if we do catch any kind of sells. So it is a uh, mid-range risk setup. It is around rounded up to around 600 pips risk to potentially make around, depending if you want to, of course, take this TP here. That's around roughly around 4,000 pips, which is quite a bit. But I do want to see some more of this liquidity get swept and get taken out. All this here, even though we're kind of like slowly making our way higher. Another zone that you can possibly have more of a conservative TP, all right, is potentially this zone here. Either if you target this zone at a TP, yeah, at a TP here, that's kind of like around 90, 9,500 around there. Yeah, 9,500. So that's kind of the area I'm looking at inside this kind of here, right? Actively used as a TP um, for this particular setup. Or let's say you want to target this high here at 91 150. This high here, you can of course target that. But even then, like even through, if you want to target this area here, that's still a 104 setup. 1 1 2 4 setup. So it's pretty good. That's pretty good. Depending on what platform you guys are trading on, whether it's on perpetuals, definitely make sure you have some room for it to breathe. And also, if you guys are trading on leverage, make sure you are accounting for the spread, because I know when it comes to perpetuals, there is no such thing as spreads on perpetuals, but on your regular leverage CFDs brokers, then there is a spread on there depending on what you guys are trading on. I've seen it kind of like it just ranges between like 10 to like 25 to upwards to like maybe like 80 depending on the broker. But yeah, definitely be careful with that. And when it comes to like our futures, actual futures, then I think there is no spread. But of course, you can't really hold these trades all day because it will close you out. So yeah, so this kind of is really what I'm looking at as far as potential buys for BTC. Just be mindful of the volatility that's coming in. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much is the overall setup that I have for PTC. You guys have any questions regarding my analysis, or if you guys want to break things down more in detail? For you guys that are brand new, I do trade more smart money concepts, SMC, more of a institutional style of trading. That's something you definitely will learn more about inside the boot camps. I know Nary Banks has released a simplified boot camp, right? So a simplified SMC boot camp that you guys should definitely highly recommend you guys watch it. Each individual videos that are in order that are on the website itself for Powerhouse. So make sure you guys tune into that because that's kind of like somewhat of how I trade fundamentally. But yeah, let's see here. Honestly, like when it comes to like all the alts or all the cryptos right now. I know BTC kind of gotten a nice rejection inside of these lows here into back into the area. All right, that's when I'm kind of been like back testing, kind of looking back at, all right, cool. Why did BTC react out of this area here? And it was just to fill in the rest of this inefficient candle. And a lot of the alts are still showing signs that it wants to pull back even lower, still leaving out liquidity on the higher time frames. So is there a possibility that BTC can come back below this low here? That is a possibility as of now, but we still need to see more clarification as far as what it wants to do next. I know there's been talks about tariff news still. I think there's gonna be potential talks of another one. Like I think there was like talks about like maybe Trump placing 100% tariff on India, I think. I've been seeing a lot of tariffs news, and that can definitely be a factor, or whatever happens, whether like war or like a missile gets sent to some kind of U.S. base that can definitely tank the markets. I know, yeah, that's always been like a factor that which will cause cryptos just to tank, but as of now, like we're just still inside this range for BTC been hovering around the 86, um, 91K zone, and we're just waiting for it to do its thing. So as of me, as of now, I personally would want to see it clear the rest of the liquidity before I give you guys like the green light that we're good to go. Like everything has done this thing where Bitcoin has done everything it needed to do to correct itself. Market structure is there, the sentiment, the the everything just aligns for it to just make its way higher. But as of now, like we're not seeing that just yet. So just be patient. I know some of you guys are really eager for all season, including myself, but everything will happen in its own time. So we're just kind of just trying to catch these leverage plays, perpetual plays. In the meantime, while you guys are still stacking, make sure you guys are taking profits on your trade ideas, whether it's on other markets. Make sure you guys are continuing stacking your portfolios because trust me, one day everything can be down, the next day you are up quite a bit of a good amount in your particular coins that you guys are investing into. Me personally, myself, I do love Chainlink. So one day it could be, all bad, boring, and then next day, we're back. So that's kind of is my world summary with BTC. Next thing that I would like to go over is Ethereum. So with Ethereum, it still shows the exact same setup in a way where I would want to see cells in here to just clear all this out. We still have all this liquidity here that is just screaming just for it to get swept. Higher time frames will always win no matter what. No matter what's set up, time frame you're in, if you completely ignore the higher time frames on a more directional bias, then you will get clapped on your setup. So that's why I'm always looking at higher time frames, just kind of see what's happening, more of a bigger overview before I even like really notching down to a smart time frames and try to find my entries. So as of now, like I know that in the future, it may not be until this week or next week, or even like the brand new month. But I definitely do would want to see these lows get taken out. It just matters just when. So that's something that you should be keep a very, very close eye out on this particular zone for Ethereum. And next thing is, yeah, I'm basically looking for sells inside here, and any potential zones really just lies down into somewhere inside this weekly candle here. It really just boils down to anywhere inside of here. That's if we actually BTC aligns with the cells and how much of a deeper retracement we get. But yeah, that's something that I'm really eyeing. Um, for now, things could change in an instant as far as where basically just what BTC wants to do, what Bitcoin wants to do on the higher time frame. So definitely be mindful of that. Because I mean, Ethereum still has a long ways to go. Like I have a couple targets in mind, for Ethereum. I definitely do see it, reaching nearing, these price ranges for Ethereum. That is kind of is my, uh, this is not too far out. This kind of is like more so, I want to see how news and how social media is like then. But it's just matter of just like how much of a euphoric basically just using the market psychology towards our favor and just indicating where we're at on uh with our main caps. Let me see for Solana. I see some of you guys are been entering some buys of Solana, been just doing pretty well on these particular trades. So shout out to those individuals that have been catching some pretty nice opportunities on Solana. But I personally will want to see it, because we actually clear liquidity. No, we haven't cleared liquidity on Solana just yet, so we're not, in the clear. We still have all this here, then it gets swept. All right, and we're so close, but we didn't really quite get that single swoop to the downside. So there's definitely a chance where we probably just see Solana just slowly bleed, clear all this out, play around this area here before actually makes its way higher. This is actually like one of the zones I'm like really seeing it like reject a couple times already. So it's been once, twice, three times. It could do another one depending on like how Bitcoin wants to push everything lower. So I know Solana's been he's showing some pretty good signs of volume, more strength than the rest of the mains as of now, but it just doing it's accumulation schematic as of now. So things just wait and see how things progresses for now with Solana. But as far as any potential ideas, I mean the last setup that I mentioned on previous calls, like I gave you guys a setup over here, and I basically showed you guys why I wanted that setup was because it was a clear liquidity, institutional buy up, cleared it, sold off, and just entering in this candle here. And this thing ran for it went from 130 to all down here. That's like a good as far as like on a pip count basis, that's 128 pips, which some of them could be like 100 like 1280, but it definitely moves quite a bit, especially on a perpetual platform. Yeah, that definitely depending on the leverage. If you had that thing on 100x leverage, for sure, like man. So just let me bring this back down. For sure, almost a good 10x, 10x depending on the leverage. A good 10x on that on your capital you trade with, roughly. Could be wrong, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. But yeah, definitely a lot of growth if you take those sales. Any buys? That's the real question. I don't see anything as of now for Solana. I'm sit on my hands and see if there's anything else better that pops up, but I will take. I see Damien. I mean, Damien, you better be taking some profits, man. Because Solana likes to dance around entries a lot. Ju- Just FYI. I mean, I know you're up, man, but don't always remind yourself, always uh you know, tell yourself don't get too emotional on one specific trade. Be like, yes, like I get it. Uh, having some pretty nice injuries and is up quite a bit, but always know where you're at as far as using your trading plan, your management, take profits, take partials, and etc. So, um, very key, very, 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 very key thing. I know you're up, but also like take profit. Like if you're still glued to the screen or like seeing the numbers fluctuate, then you're definitely either you're already emotionally attached to that trade, so that should automatically be triggering your going against your trading plan. All right, you're okay. You're all out. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, okay. Since you're all out, shit. Shout out to you. But for Solana, that's kind of really what am I on the macro perspective. Nothing on the micro that I'm looking into. Only on Bitcoin and Ethereum that I'm mainly more focused on right as of now. But if we do get any pullbacks to Solana below these lows, then I will be looking into it. I do have an alert to remind me that Solana has reached below 116, 117 area. So that will definitely keep my I would definitely be glued to the screen of Solana chart and see what it does. See here, cool. With Total One, I personally would definitely want to see some liquidity, some more liquidity get taken out. Unfortunately, I know like everything is just doesn't really look as appealing for buys just yet. Yeah, I'd rather see all this get taken out. To be honest, me personally, I would want to see this. Where are we at? I would want to see it clear the lows here. Are you taking profits on the alts? I haven't even took profits on alts just yet. Like, but as far as my plan of action, per each coin, then I will. It just depends on how much money and how much volume is being pushed into these individual coins. Like for example, Chainlink, let's say target wise, like I'll probably take some profits like above here. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, for me, for Chainlink, I'll definitely be taking probably like anywhere above like the $30 range. Just a little bit, and then the rest I'm just gonna let it ride because once Ethereum starts running, then I know Chainlink is gonna perform with it as well because we're like really keep in mind the actual chart of which we want to see. ETH started running hasn't even really fully, ran yet. Like we still have all the liquidity here. Like the dominance needs to increase for Ethereum dominance for just Ethereum in general to just skyrocket, and then we will need Bitcoin dominance to just fall off a cliff. That should be your indication that you definitely will see Ethereum really perform then, and depending on where we go from there, that is just well we'll just have to see because I can't really tell you guys exactly what exactly is going to happen. I'm just kind of showing you guys what are some possibilities or some zones to look out for when we do of course reach some of these areas for either Ethereum or even just the main cap. So Ethereum will definitely have a big influence in all season. So TP wise, I'm just kind of been just kind of taking notes on everything that's happening as a whole. So I know for sure Chainlink taking profits maybe around 30, depending on how ETH goes, and then the rest. Then I do have a clear slide at ICP for potentially at 70. But let me see here. Go back. I mean, I already have zones marked up for ICP. Had of course TP is around $27 for ICP. Had like another extension here around 70 for ICP. Anything higher than that, then uh, that's kind of really just is beyond me. That is kind of is really just reaching like just uncharted territories when it comes to like looking at price extensions of where price could go to when it comes to alts is just um, it is in the air. Nobody really knows for a fact what or where is going to be the key influence or where it's going to go into, but we just kind of see at the chart and just react from it. So um, getting these highs get taken out around above 20, like that is a pretty good solid price that is very very realistic for ICP. Now it's just a matter of like what's gonna be the key influence that's gonna make that happen. As now, like I just been stacking a couple of the main ones that have been looking pretty strong, and haven't really been touching like the other ones, but um just just been continuing stacking. There's still your opportunities to keep on stacking on your favorite assets or the ones that have been talked about inside the chat. So uh, make sure you guys are uh, have your portfolios ready. Cool. But that is a very, very good question. That is a very good question because a lot of people, definitely have that euphoric state or will have that euphoric state whenever they start seeing odds to run. And especially when it comes to like my last cycle, a lot of people were definitely euphoric because a lot of things were just printing. Like all you see was just green candles, green candles, green candles, printing out for like weeks on weeks, and then like we get too concerned on the higher time frames, and we definitely ignore the overall like psychology of the market. So yeah, so same thing here. This is something that I've been noticing for the USD dominance. So once we actually get a pullback inside here, and let me see here, where's it at? There we go. As we start seeing like a decrease, if we actually get this pullback and see an increase in UC dominance, then this can definitely be a factor which we'll probably see like alts just continue on falling. And yeah, like once we reach this area, it's just a matter of like where is gonna go to for it to actually decrease in price. But the factor that if we do see it come back in here, you definitely will see alts just or actually like the mains, um, you know, fall off a cliff, like I said. So I've just been really, been looking closely at this chart like about every week and see where we at as far as, if I see like Bitcoin or Ethereum like just, falling, then I always look back at this chart and see, are we close yet? Are we in the area yet? So I just waiting game to be honest. I know not much been happening on like for like portfolio wise, but there's definitely some opportunities when it comes to leverage plays. I know it's not like a lot of opportunities, but once volume starts kicking in, you definitely will see like setups, being a percentage of like basically every day. Like the volume now for Bitcoin will look exactly like the volume you guys are seeing with gold, if not better, or if not the same. So um, yeah, especially even catching thousands of pips and just in crypto on a particular pair, or even catching some perpetual plays, then yeah, like those are the ones that are really going to be ones that a lot of people were like, damn, like I wish I either partake into it or even I look into these kind of sectors, because when things are boring, nobody wants to even touch the boring market, right? But that's really where the most opportunities really reveal themselves. And for BTC, on this next run, if we do get another run higher, then these are kind of like more so like another area which I'm looking into for BTC. So this is something that I've been eyeing for a while, and it's just trying to see like how things are gonna go in our favor this year. That's if we actually come up here or even close to it. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I know it's just been a lot of things up in the air. I know a lot of tariff news has been beating up crypto for months now, right? Like you've been seeing like Trump releasing a lot of tariff news on different countries, but what is actually coming pretty soon is just the dividend checks. What happened last time when uh, uh uh, what happened last time during the previous COVID stimulus checks? What happens to the market as we start, of course, printing as the government starts printing the market printing money, right? That is really where crypto starts to really perform. And you can see that they're continuing on printing. All right, they're still printing. This is the United States money supply, and they're still printing, right? So, um, you can even look back. When was the last, um, the first COVID checks being sent out? You can definitely look back at the chart for BTC, and it's probably somewhere along, even before, even after uh, they started, segments. But you can always, if you're really curious, you can see that, align that with the charts, and that can give you like a good indication of what could happen in the future. All right. So as far as alts in general, I've been just closely looking at Chainlink, and we actually finally broke the lows, spec liquidity that I've been patiently waiting on, to be honest. Um, we actually, I really want to see what happens if we do, get that next spring higher for Chainlink, or if now we just kind of just go below this wick here and we just reject, because that's kind of what happened with what, what happened to, I think it was Dog. Another great example on a different chart. This was the big liquidation candle on October 10th. Market came below it, swept it, market bounced. So that could definitely be a factor, a possibility of what happened to a lot of the coins that we see, basically just across the board. If we don't, if the charts already, of course, went below its previous, October 10th wick, then we definitely probably see some new lows. Like I know Filecoin, I think Filecoin held a little bit more. I think this happened during the yeah. So I mean, Filecoin is still below its lows. It's still trading below it. which is kind of crazy. If you really zoom out, and the zones for Filecoin I have like around 1650, give or take, and the percentages from like current entry, it should be a pretty good number, a pretty good percentage. So 12, 12, 1200, 1200%, potentially, right? PayPal. I'm gonna look at PayPal. I mean, I don't really look at stocks, but let me see. PayPal USD, that's crypto, Nasdaq. Yeah, I mean this thing. What I mean, the only area that I really see was PayPal. I know they've integrated like crypto into their whole like system, but yeah, I mean, as an art thing, it kind of just looks like it's falling off a cliff. I mean, this area here, maybe, but that's just PayPal. But I don't really trade stocks, but that's just a quick observation. Um, or even coming to here. But that's kind of like my 2 cents on just PayPal overall. But AVAX, if we do plan on getting another pullback in alts, then yeah, same thing. Walmart stock has been going crazy. Hmm. It's weekly. I filled in this area there. Hmm. But yeah, I mean, I don't really trade stocks to be honest. Um, so dog, ICP, Jupiter. So Jupiter will have their final, I think like the snapshot of Jupiter will be on the 30th, and you might be eligible for two more airdrops. Like I know there's gonna be more updates coming soon, but for one that's holding Jupiter in their wallets, then they should be able to be eligible for the two airdrops. So that's basically a total of three airdrops, right? Where you guys are able to be qualified for. But I've been kind of been seeing what they're saying online about it, so more details will come as way. But the ones that I've sent out so far inside the chats, those are the ones that I've been just been eyeing. Um, Basically, I'm just been up to date on that aspect on the recent comment I sent inside the crypto channel. Filecoin, OTC. Yeah, right now, like I definitely would wait for OTC to kind of like really show some pretty good buying volume. So I definitely catch these opportunities. Yeah, because I definitely would want to partake in some LTC buys. Mm, 1 hour, nothing yet that I like to be honest for Litecoin. I mean, since probably yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything yet for Litecoin. It's just been just sitting on my hands. Pyth. So Pyth actually is listed on Robinhood now. And next you know, I look back to the chart and look at this liquidity. So that kind of does increase my confidence on that it can definitely, of course, go below the previous liquidation candle on October 10th. So that's kind of is my 2 cents on that for Pyth. So on other tracks, let me see what's happening with BNB. Nothing on BNB. Wormhole, Parcel. Yeah, everything's still It looks pretty ugly as far like alts. So XLM. Hmm. I could definitely see Sue making a comeback. Yeah, I definitely do see Sue making a comeback. Possibly even just clearing all this, doing this for Sue because it looks like it just wants Sue liquidity, bounce, react, and just continue on climbing. We have all this here, all this liquidity here, then it get taken out. So where else can I go into? I mean, I had this marked up in the past, but we'll see. We'll see with Sue. But yeah, I mean, like, do you guys have any questions inside the chat? Definitely, let me know regarding any particular chart, and I can definitely explain it more and further as far as what I'm seeing or what you guys are seeing or any coins that you've heard about that we want to like look more deeper on the charts, only the charts, right? Because this session is mainly more for live analysis. But yeah, I definitely will do that on these kind of calls. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean that's basically it on tonight's session. I know we'll probably see some potential movements going towards the end of the week. What's today? Tuesday. We still have a lot of time. Actually, we have Wednesday, Thursday. We'll probably see some movements. Maybe Friday. I know Friday likes to cool down on the markets, but as of now, like I'm just kind of patient waiting, and see what it wants to do to the rest of the week. But yeah, I mean that's basically is it on my part on tonight's session. If you guys have any questions, definitely let us know inside the group chats. And make sure you guys are grab your tickets for next week's conference, right? We're actually, counting down for these days, and it's definitely approaching. I do see. Are you buying a Seeker phone? I actually seen that they're 50% off if you buy in the token for Seeker. I actually been looking at like the specs of the phone. I'm not entirely too sold yet, to be honest. Like if it actually matches like the quality of the phone, or if it actually competes with it as far as the quality on everything, then maybe. But I've seen the prices like around like is definitely less than $300 if you pay in the token secret token. But um I've been of course doing my research on it and seeing if I can sell myself on it. But as of now, pretty cool. I've seen all the pros to even have it, the airdrops and how it's very very useful. But as of now, not yet, but maybe in the future. Um, yeah, I mean that's basically it on my end on tonight's session. Hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful night, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's get it.